Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Riayatit Taufiqah, and I'm postgraduate student of State University Jakarta, majoring management. In this occasion, I'm going to present the topic of priority rules of short-term scheduling, but in this presentation, I'm only focused on short processing time or SPT method. The first, we have to know about the definition of priority rules. Priority rules for the distribution of works are rules used to determine the order of works in a process-oriented facility. And for definition of SPT itself is the job with the shortest ordering time done first. It means that the jobs that have the shortest processing time are handled and completed first. Here is the example of priority rules for the distribution of work with SPT method. The SPT method shown on the table following: produce order BDICE, and this order made based on processing with priority highest given on works with the shortest time processing. And for this table consists of 5 categories. The first is job order, processing time, and then flow time, job deadline, and also delay. This is the rules of SPT, which produce the size of effectiveness, the first average time of completion, and it consists of 65, which comes from the flow time per 5 from job order, and it equals to 13 days. And second utilization, 28 per 65, which comes from processing time per flow time, and it equals to 43.1%. And then average number of jobs in system, 65 per 28, and equals to 2.32 jobs. And then the last one, average delay in work, it consists of 9, which come from the total of delay per 5 from the amount of job order, and it equals to 1.8 day. So we move to the case of SPT, and the first case is taken from the Journal of Sharia Economics, Finance and Business, with the title Analysis of Production Scheduling System Based on Order Using Priority Principle Method at CV Davero Cemerlang, Indonesia. The problems of this analysis is that the company doesn't yet have a production plan and a definite target for completion, and it's feared that delays will occur. In addition, CV Davero Jaya Cemerlang Indonesia is facing delays due to the COVID-19 outbreak. For the case details, Davero Jaya Cemerlang Indonesia is a company engaged in the packaging sector with a made-to-order production system that requires companies to use a short-term production system. The company decided to adopt this technique because it seemed reasonable from the consumer's point of view. And the downside of this technique is that it often causes delays in the completion of client orders. And then the purpose of this analysis is to determine the most efficient order scheduling technique in CV Davero Jaya Cemerlang Indonesia to reduce delays in order fulfillment. And for analysis data, the production scheduling analysis on CV Davero Jaya Cemerlang Indonesia requires order data in the form of order types, units ordered, incoming date, due date, outgoing date, ordering time, time flow, and also delay. And for analysis method, it uses short-term scheduling method as an analytical tool, and in this method, actually there are various strategies that can be used to get the best results. But in this method of this analysis, it uses the priority rules approach, and it consists of some components. The first is first come, first served, and then shortest processing time, then longest processing time, and then earliest due date. So this is the shortest processing time of this case. Here is the picture of details of the orders of CV Davero Jaya Cemerlang, Indonesia. And also there is the detail of date of order, and then the time processing, and also the deadline. In this approach, orders to be placed are sorted based on which one takes the least time to complete. Consequently, the order with the lowest processing time will be the one executed first. so that the order of orders that will be carried out by Dharmawan Cemerlang Indonesia Company into mini boxes, paper bags, macaron boxes, paper bag BW, cake boxes, crackle bags, donut crackle bags, etc. And move to the next step, which is the calculation of the SPT performance based on the Gantt chart by determining the processing time, time flow, and total of deadline and total of delay. We can see that in number 1, for example, there is time of order mini box with time of processing 30 days, and then the flow time 30 days, and then the deadline 26, and the delays 4 days. And at the last short, there is a snack box with the time processing 18 days, and the flow time 490, and the deadline 10 days, and the delays is 480. And for the total of order, there is 21 orders, and then total of time processing is 520, and then the total of flow time there is 6,142, and then the total of deadline 369, and the total of delay is 5,773. And then we move to the data, which is also processed again to calculate the size of effectiveness according to the shortest processing time method. And this is, we can see that in the average of completion, it results 292.4 days, and for utility or utilization, it results 8.46%, and for the average of number of job in system, it results 11.8 jobs, and then for the average of delays, it results 274.9 days. And for the conclusion, we know that it can be determined that the most optimal parity rules approach in this company comes from calculating the value of the effectiveness measure, and this method is recommended for them. The FCFS technique is used at Dharmawan Cemerlang Indonesia. When compared with other techniques, the FCFS method produces a measure of effectiveness that's closest to the optimal scheduling criteria in terms of precision. Therefore, the FCFS method is expected to solve the problem of delays in completing orders that occur at the Dharmawan Cemerlang Company. The next is the second case, which is taken from the Journal Management, Business and Entrepreneurship with the title Analysis of Scheduling Production All Racket and Sport Equipment's Eternal Company Malang. And the problem of this analysis is the accumulation occurs of build-up and delays in completing order or racket and sport equipment Eternal Company Malang. And this is the case details. The Eternal Company is company in manufacture field. Method production, which use companies since beginning founding, is method first come first served. And based on the circumstance method production which use Eternal Company with use method FCFS, licenses occur because number of metal like source power natural which no erratic, total worker which sometimes no erratic, and no exist scheduling and machine process which done correctly. Based on problem occurs, various experimental methods are required use so that the company knows the method of production scheduling optimal for implementation in the company. And the aim of this analysis is to find out and find a scheduling method that's optimal so as to overcome the problem of delays order completion. And for data analysis and method analysis, it's actually similar with the previous analysis. Okay, here is the table of processing time for the company. Actually, the table consists of 5 categories, which is number of orders, and then machine rolling per days, and then machine polishing per days, machine chopper per days, and then processing time. Okay, this is the SPT performance calculation. We can know that there is 6 orders, and then the total of time processing is 40, and then the total of flow time is 126, and the maturity is 0, and then the delays is totally 75. And by calculating the performance in the table above, then the data is reprocessed to calculate the effectiveness of the shortest processing time method with the following calculation. The first, average time of completion. It consists of 126 per 6, which come from flow time and also number of orders, and equals to 21 days, and utilizations 40 per 126, which come from time processing and which come from the time processing and also the flow time, and multiple to 100% and equals to 31.74%. And average number of job in system, it consists of 126 per 40 and equals to 3.15 jobs. And the last one, average delay in work, it consists of 75 from the total of delays per 6 from the amount of the orders and equal to 12.5 days. And based on the calculation above, we can conclude that the optimal priority rule method is the shortest processing time method to minimize delays in order completion. And it's taken from the comparison of scheduling criteria, namely minimizing completion time, maximizing utilization, minimizing the amount of work in the system, and then minimizing work delays. And the last case is production scheduling analysis at PT Kuniadu Mitra Sejati. The problem of this case is the scheduling process isn't regular, which causes the order completion process that's not on time. For the case details, PT Kuniadu Mitra Sejati is a company that manufactures PVC window and door frames. This company sets production targets to adjust production capabilities in the face of uncertain market demand. The journal stated that there were 7 types of PVC production in January 2019, and in the table there are several types of products whose realization didn't match the production target. The journal also stated that of the 7 types of production, there are 11 product orders which are in the process of being completed late from the predetermined due date. And it's known that PT Kurnia Mitra Sejati in completing product orders using the FCFS scheduling method. But however, in the end, this method didn't work well. So there is a need for other methods to be used that the production completion process can run effectively. And for data analysis and analysis method, it's similar with the 2 previous analysis. And move to SPT method. From this table, we can know that there is a number of orders, and it's 11 orders, and this is the time of orders and the time of producing or processing time, and then time flow, the deadline, and also the delays. The totals of processing time is 235, and time flow totally 1335, and the decline is 0, and also delays is 1132 days. And then this is the calculation of SPT method, the average of completion, and it result 121.36 days. And for the average of jobs, it result 5.68 jobs, and then the average of the delays, it result 102.9 days, and then for the utilization, it result 17.6%. And there are for the presentation about the case and also the data of SPT method and the case. And for this is the bibliography. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation, and thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.